I go out about every month and I pick plastic bags up along Highway 92 and Naco Highway. And so I challenge Ms. Blackford and the 675 people who signed the petition to ban the use or to continue the use of plastic bags, to take care of their plastic bags so they aren't strewn all around our highways and our properties and our cactus and our trees.
So all we're asking Bisbee to do is to be enlightened, to be willing to change. It takes me a lot of times to remember bags, my own bags. They're in my car, but I grab them, and sometimes I don't remember, and I put everything loose in my basket, and I go out and I put it in my car loose, because I feel that it's really important for the environment, and it's a little bit that I can do. So I'm asking the people of Bisbee to stand up and do a little bit more than what they're used to doing. Do a little bit more for the planet. Thank you.
I can't make myself believe that these people who want to hang on to their plastic bags and they go all the way to Sierra Vista to shop because so they can get them. I can't make myself believe that they're so petulant that they just can't do that. I can't make myself think that. But I don't think they realize the horrendous, horrendous damage it does to the environment. And we have one Earth. We have one Earth. That's what we live on. We all live on it. And we can't change everything that goes on. We can only change things that are within our own little bailiwicks, our own little purview. And, you know, if we can't educate the people so that they do something to make the Earth a safer and better place, then why are we here? Why have a government? You know, why not just have anarchy and everybody does whatever the hell they want, drive as fast as they want, whatever side of the street they want? You know, why have any rules at all?
Good evening, Susan Blackford Warren. As chairman of the initiative representing Florence, who's ill tonight, and Nina, and our registered voters of this town, I'd like to just say a few remarks. Tonight I would like to address item 2. On Tuesday, I submitted a petition stating that rather do a survey of 675 registered voters has spoken. Put Ordinance 01314 on the November ballot so that the citizens of Bisbee can vote on it. Last week, I called the State of Elections Department, and I finally got a very nice lady named Mary and Alex who looked up the timeline for me, okay? So I would know if there would be a chance to get it to the printer. And what they told me that all ballots had to be printed by the 20th of September, so they could go out and be back within the 45 days with the federal law. She also said on today's date or the next date, she would be getting to the counties all the list of the different representatives that need to go on the ballot. Therefore, we have this week to get something to the county to put onto the ballot to go to the printer. There is more than enough time. And that's from the State Election Department when I spoke to Mary. Okay. I really don't know what else to discuss with the council. All the reasons have been given by myself and others how we want the right to choose on plastic bags or not. By doing so, it will cost less to get it on the ballot now on November 4th, if you act tonight. Margot, I know you're a very capable attorney, but you have a lot of misfacts in your statement and to the Bisbee Observer. If you all would go, as I stated before, to www.stopthebagban.com, you would see the correct facts regarding plastic bags, sorry. Margot, we are not sheep that blindly follow what our leaders say. God gave us minds. And another thing, there is a rumor about Safeway going to plastic, but there's no verification, okay? All the facts on plastic bags have been given to you all. And everyone has a right to decide yes or no. That's all we're asking. Then we can go back to our good recycling program that has worked very well for years. The county attorney told me in Florence the reason they did it so vindictively was to make us comply. Why? And most of all, please just give us the right to choose. That's all we're asking you. If we lose and if the city decides to go that they like the ordinance, so be it. But give us a chance to choose. Do the right thing for this town. Vote now to put it on the ballot for November 4th. And thank you all.
Thank you.
The plastic bags aren't recycled at all within the county. If you want to recycle a bag, you have to take it to Safeway or Walmart or you go, somewhere else to drop it off. So it's misinformation to say that we're recycling plastic bags here. That's not the case.
There are a lot of beings that can't come here and vote. They can't speak, they can't go to the polls. And it's not just the fish, but the fish are included too, and all the life forms. But it's also the children, grandchildren, and we can go down many generations. And I think that the council did the very responsible thing of looking ahead and working towards a more sustainable and living planet. And I think the council was elected officials. There was a chance for democracy to work. This issue's been discussed, dissented, dissected for years now, it seems like, if not literally. So I don't see any lack of democratic process, and I think that it's our responsibility to give voice to those that can't be here. Thank you.
There's just a lot of hysterical rumors going around about floating islands in the ocean, which is not true. There used to be detritus in plastic bags. They aren't made of plastic bags. It's like I told you last council meeting, it's mostly commercial fishermen's gear and wood products that are floating in the, and plastic jugs, which are not made out of the same thing that plastic bags is. One of the things about this ordinance that I have a real problem with is this a tax or is this a fee? If you look at the tax law dictionary, a tax is a body of rules under which a public authority has the claim on taxpayers, requiring them to transfer to the authority part of their income or property. Also, it says a tax is any contribution imposed by government upon individuals for the use of and service of the state, whether under the name of toll, tribute, tollage, etc. Whereas a fee in the law dictionary is a charge for service, compensation for that service, or dues. Now, in this ordinance, it clearly states that this is not in compensation for any service at all. It is a charge by a government body for taxpayers. The other thing that I have a problem with is that it is not, it's arbitrary. It's discriminatory. Some of the businesses in Bisbee do not have to pay it. Some of them do. The city government, as far as I can tell, lines their garbage cans, their trash bags, with the same kind of bags that we have to pay a tax on, and they do not. 241 years ago, we had a little party in Boston about being taxed on certain things, tea at that time. I think this tax is discretionary, it's discriminatory, should be on everybody across the board. If you use plastic, whether you are the city of Bisbee or whether you are my business, you ought to pay a tax, and that's not how it is. The other thing that I have a problem with is on this form that we as merchants are required to submit to the city, under section 2B it says the total cost of providing paper bags per month. Now if we're going to talk about the environment and being good to the environment, we have to say once again that in order to create a paper bag, you have to kill a tree. You have to. You can't get it any other way. Plastic bags that are given out by us merchants and by Safeway are made of plentiful, clean, renewable natural gas. Now, which would you rather have for our planet? A deforested planet that's causing all kinds of problems with our weather? Or a plastic bag that responsible adult citizens can learn to recycle? And once again, we had a wonderful recycling program here, not only with Safeway, but also our young children were getting so excited about doing this. We had contests for them. We were teaching them not only to recycle plastic bags, we were teaching them to recycle everything.
3 minutes.
So if we're going to talk about the environment, let's talk logically. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention that this is my favorite reusable bag. It's my chicken bag. It's made by Yolanda at the farmer's market. So those of you who are worried about the 5 cents tax on your bags, there's an easy way to avoid that. There's also an easy way to avoid killing trees and cutting down trees to make more bags. You can go to the farmer's market and buy one of these by Yolanda for $5.
Questions?
Pro Tem Don, may I speak, please?
Yes.
Thank you. You comfortable? Because I'm going to talk for a little while. I've got a copy of the petition, and it's stamped September 4th, 2014, and it was signed by Susan Blackford. Ordinance 01314 was done without a vote of registered voters, just by the mayor and council. Okay? It was. It's exactly right. However, it didn't happen overnight. It was more than 3.5 years and less than 4 years that this issue was talked about, up and down, left and right, and the experts were in here about a month before we voted on it from the industry, and we asked them to come here and talk to us and instruct us as experts in this industry of bagging groceries and selling groceries and what it was their experience. And they gave us their experience with hundreds of other municipalities and a few dozen countries that have successfully stopped importing and distributing bags. So I'm going to disagree totally with just the first part of this petition, that it needed to go to the voters, because it did, and it's been repeated by a number of people. You voted for the people that are sitting up here, and then we voted on this ordinance after 4 years, nearly. I went over stated, nearly 4 years this was discussed. I think the problem that the voters have with this council is that we actually took an action on an item that had languished for years. And I think that the city was kind of used to things not being done. Shame on us for saying, well, let's do something on this. It seemed like it happened overnight. The only thing that this council didn't do was to go door to door and knock on every single person's door and ask you, what do you think? That's just the first paragraph. Now the action desired. Rather, this is great, this is Susan Blackbird's own words. Rather than do a survey of 675 registered voters has spoken. To pretend that that petition was a survey is a total stretch of the imagination. Because surveys are done by people who have nothing vested in the issue, and there are scientific questions that they ask, and they ask more than one question. That is a survey. So, after nearly 4 years, the only thing that I'd like to do is to do what we talked about a couple of weeks ago and give us till October 21st to do the best scientific survey. Actually pay somebody. You want this thing to happen in the next 5 days because it seems like it happened so fast a couple of months ago, when all I think we need to do is to allow the city manager and staff, with whatever resources we have, and we talk ad nauseum about no money in this town, to pay somebody to do a survey. That would give a definitive answer as to whether people in this town, the plurality of the people, or majority, want bags or not. And I'm willing right here to play no peek poker and say, whatever that survey says in October 21st, that's how I'll vote. 50% plus one person doesn't want or wants plastic bags, you got them. That's what I'll tell you right now. But why this has to happen in the next few days is beyond me. It's not beyond me. I know exactly why, because the printer's printing this stuff and you want it on the ballot. But you weren't paying attention for 4 years. Some of you were, but not enough of you. 675 obviously weren't, because it happened, and it didn't. I'd also, somebody that spoke tonight talked about real facts. That scares me, because facts are just facts. There aren't real facts and false facts. Facts are facts. Somebody also talked about renewable natural gas. And they might have been talking about methane, but not natural gas, because natural gas is not renewable. It's mined. So, I think everybody needs to take a step back, give us 5 or 6 weeks to do this survey, which, you know, we're going to ask people just a question. We're not going to ask them to sign anything, and get some legitimate feedback. You know, and if we waited until the first of the year, we'll have a new mayor, a couple of new city council people, and then bring it back up for, you know, repeal. It says in the ordinance, repeal or severability. Just do it again. Just have a vote. Get it on the agenda. We'll vote it up again. But so much time is spent. on people not wanting to do something, you know, it reminds me of my daughter saying, no, no, I don't want to do that. I'm amazed that people get so upset when something gets done around here if they don't like it, you know? Listen, for years, for 18 years before I tried it, 20 years before I tried to do something, I wish we would do this and I wish we would do that. No, let's try it. You know, you call their bluff and then they don't. People, it's interesting. But to call that petition a survey is just not true. That's a real fact. And it'd be a waste of time to try to get this jammed onto the ballot in the next 5 days, because it would just be more of the same emotional waste of time when we could do a survey and find out how the majority of the people feel about bags in the privacy of their own home or on the phone, instead of standing in front of a Safeway saying, sign this. And I reserve the right to talk more on this if I want to.
I don't think anybody, Mr. Connor, said the 675 signatures was a survey.
It says it right there, Hannah. It says it right there.
But that's something that we really cannot discount is...
I'm not discounting it.
Never have her comment.
She's talking to me. I was addressing them. I wasn't talking to Councilperson Klein. She's talking to me.
Okay, well, obviously, this is an issue that everybody in town feels very strongly about. Obviously, I mean, we can't agree up here, we can't agree down there. And it is something that the council can rescind. They can rescind, I mean, we can. And we, you know, we can wait till the new council comes in. But then again, somebody will come up with another petition that says we want the ban. And we can volley this issue back and forth until the cows come home. And that's why I think most people feel that it should go to the voters, whether it's voted up or down, and then be done. Everybody will have their say, and then we'll be done. The thing that I'm concerned about is our time frame, and the fact that we don't have an attorney on staff yet to draft up what we need to draft up. Those are my concerns, but I do believe that the voters should have the final say, and let's just be done with this.
And I think we've implemented this a little over 4 months ago. In that period of time, how much tax has the city gained, received from this bag ordinance?
I would have to maybe defer that to the finance director.
By all accounts, by the finance director, she gave us a 0.
Okay. I hope that's certainly one of the erroneous statements that's been repeatedly made. This is not a tax. It is certainly a fee for the cost of providing that bag that a person chooses to purchase if they want their own paper bag. Okay. Other questions?
I have a question of the Peter. In your request here, you say that you move the mayor and council to repeal the bag ordinance and include it on the November election. So I'm confused in what you're asking for, because are you asking that we repeal it and then put it up for election and whether to establish it, or is the repeal part of the election? I'm all confused here on what you're asking for.
Shirley and I were asking for a vote on putting it on the ballot on whether or not we should continue with the plastic bag ordinance as it is presently written, or we write it in a manner in which it reflects the needs of the electorate, of the voters, because there are issues aside from the aesthetics of the plastic bag It's also a question of ergonomics, of accommodating people with handicaps and so forth that can't pick up paper bags, that forget their bags in their cars. These were issues that were discussed before. So we're looking for a way in which we can re-engineer this in a manner in which everybody is ultimately satisfied.
Yeah, I've got the idea, but what the problem is upon council here is I can't vote on anything until I have it before me. And what I need before me is the referendum, and the referendum is going to have to state it's the same thing that's going to go before the voters. So before I can put it before the voters, I need to know what the voters are going to be voting on. So until at such a point in time you can bring me back the referendum that says this and this and this, then I can make an up and down vote. I think most people are pretty darn used to not having their plastic bags. I think a lot of people have got their reusables, they're using them fine. It's not a real hard thing for people to use them. I think that's what we find out in the end when this is all done, is for the most part that it's accepted because it's going that way across the country. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do is, I've been here for 7 years, and just like this ordinance that wants to be repealed was ramrodded through in only 2 sessions, I'm not going to ramrod a repeal through in 1 or 2 sessions. It's bad government. And as far as I'm concerned, it was bad government that put this in place, and it would be bad government if we took it out. Now that's why I would like to see it go to the voters, but it needs time to be a properly written resolution. It needs time to be out in the public for a while, not some preconceived special meeting at the last minute on the last day to get it on the November ballot. If we have to do it after November, big deal. We'll let that come about. But I cannot support sending it to this November ballot just to hurry up to make it happen any more than I could support the initial repeal of the original bag ordinance. That's where I am.
Do you have a motion you wish to present to us this evening?
Well, I propose a motion to rescind the bag ordinance as it's written, and then and put that on the ballot.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
May I make a comment? We cannot rescind an ordinance without an ordinance. We cannot just take a vote to say we're rescinding an ordinance. So I'm sorry, but that would be an illegal vote. And as far as my Robert Rules of Order, we have an attorney here. We probably.
That's what our charter very clearly states. I can read.
So we can't make a motion to repeal the bag ban because it is an ordinance. So we can't vote tonight to repeal it because there's no ordinance in front of us.
Put it on the ballot. That's all. Just put it on the ballot. Anna?
Good question. So then that throws us back even more then.
No, what I'm saying is the motion was made and I'm giving my opinion. I don't know if everybody else here. I wish we had our attorney, but we don't. If we're going to, as the motion was made to repeal the bag ordinance, we can't repeal an ordinance without an ordinance in front of us. You can't repeal an ordinance without an ordinance. So that portion cannot happen. If the motion was restated, then we could vote on that, but I don't think this would be a legal vote to vote on repealing an ordinance without an ordinance to repeal.
Are you leading these council people to rephrase their motion? Why don't you just tell them what to say, Ken? Why don't you just tell them?
Well, sir, what I want is a legal vote, sir. I don't want an illegal vote.
Just tell them.
Okay.
Don't tell them.
Staff confers with the
Yes, sir.
statement. Yes, this is certainly what our city charter very clearly says, and I can read that. Is there another motion?
Well, I move that we create an ordinance to permit us to rescind the bag ordinance.
Okay. Is there a second?
No.
And I'd like to make a move. I'd like to make a move that we make as many ordinances as motions that we can until somebody likes something around here. It's like this is ridiculous.
I'll second the motion. There's a motion been made to us to place on a future agenda an ordinance to repeal the bag ordinance. I believe that is what was stated. Okay. Roll call.
Councilmember Shirley Doty?
Aye.
Councilmember Von Gula?
Aye.
Councilmember Connors?
Nay.
Councilmember Budge?
Nay.
Mayor Pro Tem Dunn?
Nay.
Councilmember Klein?
Aye.
Item 3, got a 5. I do want to make a request to our city manager, certainly in the scheduled session that we have in October to review this ordinance and discuss alternatives. I would like you to bring, again I'm speaking as mayor, to bring to us, have agendized a motion that will allow us to modify, to amend the current ordinance, starting off with removing the requirement.
Don't touch the camera.